We're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many challenges as we can, before the snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we complete all the challenges in a chunk before time is up, the snake grows, giving us more area to play in. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Welcome back. In the last episode, we spent a bunch of time in the Catherby and Tavali areas with a failed excursion to try and unlock Herblore. After that, the snake went back to the Catherby docks, and we've now headed back to the Karamja subcontinent. But we're currently in Musa Point, with the head of the snake there and the tail of the snake still in the Catherby. That's where I am right now, because we've got some quite important work to do. There's a chance that we're going to go down into the Karamja jungle again, and one of the slight benefits of being able to go down there is a really good general store. We're currently setting ourselves a goal of trying to get 250,000 GP to buy all the feathers we're going to need to get us up to 72 Fletching to achieve one of the two goals that I want to have before getting 30 quest points. And to do that, we're currently selling unstrung longbows to general stores. And the Karamja general store, it sells for 60% as opposed to normal stores 40%. So we can make a bunch of money if we have a load of oak longbows unstrung ready to be sold. The snake's direction for the next 3 hours is guaranteed. We have to stay here for while we're in the Musa Point dock, then we're going to go to Musa Point proper, then the volcano, and then Brimhaven. Those 4 are guaranteed chunks, as the snake can't go in any other direction. So for the next 3 hours, while we still have access to this chunk with a bank and a bunch of oak trees nearby, we're going to do a bunch of fletching. Then once we lose access to it, we're going to have to change that up, but that's a later me problem. So let's jump in and get to it. Okay, so the strategy for the next 3 hours is I'm going to just chop trees and I'm just going to bank all of them. What I want is I want a bunch of logs in the bank, as many as I can get in there in the time span that we have with good oak logs. And then when we get to Brimhaven, I'm going to start fletching them there. Then once we know whether the head of the snake is going down to Karamja or not, I'll either continue fletching or we'll move on elsewhere. This will make us a ton of GP if this happens. So let's get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's do a load of wood cutting. We're currently level 67 wood cutting, so maybe we can try and get all the way up to 70. So if you want a little more insight into what I'm thinking, fletching takes about a third of the time that wood cutting does. So for every 45 minutes of wood cutting I do, I need to do about 15 minutes of fletching, which is why if you've watched when I've been in these fletching chunks, about 18 minutes, about 17 minutes left, I run in and I start doing the fletching. Now, if we were to extrapolate that to 3 hours, that means we only need 1 hour to fletch all of the logs that we have from wood cutting for 3 hours. And once we get over to the decision point of Brimhaven, we're going to have at least 2 hours left on the end of the snake with the bank that's inside the Karamja volcano. So we'll have at least 2 hours to convert all of the logs into oak longbows before we're going to need to lose access to the bank so we can sell them as noted items. And I mean, the worst case scenario of this is that we go to Brimhaven and we don't go into the jungle, which just means I'm not in the Karamja jungle, and we can just spend the hour fletching at some other point. Hopefully that makes sense, and kind of why I'm grinding woodcutting for the first 3 hours of this episode. It's the end of the first hour, 768. And at the end of the second hour, that's 1,430. And there is 68 woodcutting. Oh man, one more to 69. We've done about 1,500 logs so far. So we're about 15% of the way to the logs that we're going to need. Ooh, a maze random. Perfect. I love exploring mazes. And with the end of those 3 hours, we have 2,037 oak logs. This should convert to about 50,000 GP. So that'll put us at about 75,000 GP on our way to the 250,000 that we need. So let's jump on the boat because we lose access to this chunk now. I've got to think of something else to do that isn't just woodcutting. I've been thinking about what on earth we should do while we're in this chunk. It's kind of an intermediate chunk. We don't need to start fletching all of the logs we have until the beginning of the next hour, when we know whether we're going down into Karamja or not. So I have an hour free to do whatever I want. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to doing some agility. I really do enjoy doing it, and we are over halfway to unlocking the Pirate's Hook from the Agility Arena store. So if I can put one more hour in to get 60 more points on the way to get in there, I would quite like that. And I get to 65, which is a nice round number. This is technically a chunk task for the Karamja subcontinent, as we do need to get to 87 to be able to do some of the shortcuts in the Brimhaven dungeon. So we could tangentially think of this as progress. I'm not going to bother putting away my axe, it's not very heavy at all. So let's start the timer and I'll do a quick hour of this. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's pay Captain Nobid and get to it. And this is going to be 500 Agility Arena laps. Still got 330 to go before we can get the hook. I mean, technically as well, eventually we're going to need 250 more to get the graceful recolor, but I'm not going to focus on that till later. I feel like the last 4 hours have really shown the beauty of entering Karamja from Musa Point as opposed to Brimhaven. Every other time we've come onto this continent, we've had to go through Brimhaven, and immediately after just a few hours, then we have the choice of going into the jungle. And it doesn't really leave any chance for preparation, especially because the snake's only 4 chunks long, unless there's a bank really near to the dock, which we've just come off of. I lose access to a bank before I know whether we're going into Karamja or not. Having it the other way around, where I know that I have the volcano and I know that I have a bank, means that it's so much easier to plan for contingencies, and it lets me know like what I need to bring when I go into the jungle. And there's 65 agility. You know what? Actually, hold up. There's one thing I completely forgot about. In the last episode, we went and got a task material. That was for monkeys, wasn't it? And of course, we have access to monkeys around here. I just got so locked into doing woodcutting that I completely forgot about it. Yeah, look, wait, if I go attack this monkey, our very first Slayer experience. You know, I don't even need any gear, they're literally 3 HP. How many do I currently have? What's my current task? Yeah, 26 monkeys. Okay, let's just run around, and I don't even know where monkeys spawn around here. Oh, and while we're here, might as well just trade in some agility experience. This feels like a little bit of a waste of time, but I just want to say that I have actually completed a Slayer task. And with this monkey, we have completed a Slayer task. Oh, that's ridiculous. 156 XP. Oh, we got 8 minutes left, so I'm just going to quickly run down to the bank, deposit this stuff, and I'll probably start fletching a couple of the oak logs. We're going to need to do it at some point anyway, and I can't be bothered to go all the way back down into the agility arena, so I will just work on that quickly. We now have 500 Brimhaven vouchers, so only 300 more to go, which is 5 more hours in there. And that's the end of the hour. We managed to convert about 200 of the oak logs that we had into oak longbows. But now is the moment of truth. Let's see if we're getting stuck in the Karamja jungle again. And here we are. We just spent the last hour in Brimhaven doing some of the agility arena and killing some monkeys to complete our very first Slayer task. So we're technically Slayer unlocked again. But that's not going to be very useful, because from here we have 3 options. South into the Karamja subcontinent, forwards into the Brimhaven dungeon entrance, or north into Brimhaven North and the docks. The top 2 chunks here are fine, they're pretty good. Over here we can complete the other 2 easy diary tasks and do a bit of power mining with some gold. We'll actually be able to ferry the gold back, so this will be quite good. Going north takes us straight onto a dock, which has the chance to still spin us around, but with the dock we have a chance to go to a bunch of places. But the Karamja subcontinent. For anyone who's new here, this continent down here only has one entrance, which is this chunk up here. We don't have a grapple hook, so we can't get out of the agility shortcut here. We don't have Shiloh Village, so we can't take the boat down here. And we haven't completed the Path of Gluffrey, which unlocks this chunk here as an escape. So if we enter in, well, the only way of getting out is if we get to this chunk and then roll out again. So the snake has to go all the way in, turn around and go out. Without Druidic Ritual, we can't complete Taibo One-Eye Cleanup, or we can't enter Shiloh Village. So this entire area is crap. It is a little bit better than the last time we got stuck down here because we have the 41 Hunter requirement to unlock this chunk here, Karen Isle. So it would be a little bit better than last time. We'll be able to extend the snake by one chunk. But inside this area, there are very limited training options. We basically have to fish a bunch, we have to kill a bunch of hobgoblins to try to get the 5,000 trading sticks to unlock this entrance here to the Brimhaven dungeon. We can do a little bit of power mining, we can kill jogers, and we can kill monkeys to train our melees. But generally, it's a pretty rough place to be. We haven't been able to tick anything off for quite a while. Lots of the stuff in this area are very long-term grinds. So we won't be able to work towards any of them. But we can't keep putting this off. Let's see if we're going into the Karamja jungle. Oh, bloody hell. Well, Jungle Arc Part 2 has begun. Let's see if, at least this time, we can extend the length of the snake. Hi, I'm really sorry, but this is Editor Buschie here, and you might notice that the mic has changed just a little bit. Now, I had a audio problem for the next few hours of this chunk, which meant that the rest of the recording sounded a bit like this. This sucks. Why are we here in the Karamja jungle, stuck yet again? Now, because I didn't want to put you through that, I've gone back and I've redubbed the rest of this video, but unfortunately that was done with a different microphone at a different time, so it might sound a little bit weird. I'm really sorry there was no other way around to get around this, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode, even with a bit weird audio. If you are enjoying this video, maybe consider telling a friend about the series, or just anyone you know. Maybe your grandma will want to watch. So there are two ways that we can look at being stuck in the jungle again. One is, this sucks, we're stuck in the Karamja jungle, yet again. Or two, we can think of it as that we've completed as many things as we can to make the jungle as good as we can for the next time we're stuck in it. We now have 41 Hunter, which lets us unlock a chunk, and we spent the last while getting a bunch of oak logs, which means that we can sell a load of oak longbows to the shop over there. And that's going to set us up really well for the future. I'm going to spend the next few hours fletching all the logs that we have, because we still have a few hours with the Karamja volcano and the bank chest that's in it. Then, once we've fletched all of those logs, then I'll just start hopping and selling them to the shop over there. This is going to be quite a shortcut episode, but I hope you're enjoying it. Anyway, let's get to doing some fletching. 3, 2, 1, go. And there is 62 fletching. We still have a few hundred logs left to do before we're finished with this. We should be able to get the majority of them done, but we might have some left over for the next hour. Now, we still have 2 hours left with access to this bank chest, which means that I can just go and hop and sell as many of them as I can. And if we can do that whilst having access to the bank chest, that means I'll be able to dump a bunch of the coins that I get back into the bank before we go into the jungle, which would be really useful. And that was the end of the hour. So we have 81 oak logs left to turn into oak longbows, which would bring our total up to 2,300 oak longbows unstrung. That's going to turn into a bunch of money at the shop. So let's jump in the chunk picker and see where we're going into the jungle. So from here on out, I'm just going to do quick rolls because there's nothing really to tick off in the jungle. Until we get down to the Karen Isle chunk down here, we can't complete anything in the jungle. So I'll just quickly roll and see where we're going moving in. Now we lose access to Musa Point and we only have 1 hour left of the volcano, which means that we've got 1 hour to finish up that little bit of fletching and then start selling as many things as we can. And then we can put our coins away and get ready to go into the jungle for real. There's not much else to do, so let's just start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Just a little bit more fletching and then we can start some hopscape. And with all of those completed, we can now extract them all noted and then run over to the general store. With the general store, I am definitely going to sell them probably 5 at a time. 5 is a nice level where we're getting a decent amount of profit per bow, but I'm also not going insane with the amount of hopping. So let's run over and get started. This general store sells at such a great rate that normally when you sell 5 oak longbows to a shop, you get 130 coins. But with this shop, we get 180, which means that we're making about 20% more than a normal general store. Meaning at the end of all the fetching grind, we're going to have even more money left over. This is really annoying. Every third world I go into, the shop is full of crap that bots have sold to it. There's no space left for me to sell an oak longbow. It's so annoying. I mean, just look, in this shop too, there's all of this rubbish. For someone who knows more about this than I do, where on earth are the bots getting this stuff from? Because it seems to be very specific items. And, is there any way to avoid this? With the end of the hour, I've got to now set all my inventory up for going into the jungle for real this time. I still have just over 1,000 oak longbows to sell. Now, it looks like I've got a bunch of rubbish from inventory, but this stuff is all going to be useful for the jungle. So let's jump in the trunk picker and see where in the jungle we're going next. With the snake facing south out of Taibo One Eye, we can either go into Karamja Isle or into the mining area. So let's see where we're going to go next. And it's into the mining area. We lose access to the volcano now, which means we no longer have access to a bank. Let's jump in the game and get to selling some bows. So we have one more hour of hopping. I'm really hoping to get rid of all of these oak longbows so I can replace this inventory slot with a stack of coins instead. It's a very annoying process to do, to just constantly world hop, but it'll go quickly for you guys. So I'm just gonna have to get to it. And with that, that is all of the oak longbows sold at 39,000 coins to be added. I think now in the bank we're well over 80k. So let's run back to Brimhaven while we still have access to it, and I think I'm just gonna kill some pirates for a little while. Just for the next kind of 9 minutes until we get locked into the jungle proper. And with the end of this hour, we are now gonna get locked into the jungle for real. Oh man, I miss civilization already. But let's jump in the trunk picker and quickly see where the snake is going to take us next. You probably get the drill by now. With the snake facing here, we can either go up into the Wood Grove chunk, which we can't actually use. We can go forward into the Agility Crossing chunk, or down into Shiloh Village, which will take us towards Karamja Isle. Now, if we do go forwards, we are on for the fastest escape, so I hope that happens. And we have gone forwards. Well, there's still hope that we can escape within 6 hours, but I'm definitely not going to hold out hope for that. Let's jump back in the game. I've got some reminiscing to do. I really wonder how long it's going to be until the next time we're out of the jungle. Last time we were here, we were stuck for 29 hours, so I really hope it's going to be less than that. But of course, I don't know that yet. For this next episode, I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to do a whole jungle episode. No matter how many hours it takes, I'm going to put it all in the next episode. So there might be a little bit of a delay to the next one. But before then, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, a like would be greatly appreciated, and a subscription would be absolutely amazing. I'm really sorry about the audio problems. I hope it hasn't been too much of a distraction. But with that said, I'll see you next time with me stuck in the jungle for hopefully not too long. Goodbye.